And now, for another episode of Dating Etiquette with your host, Christopher Pope.
Hi, I'm Christopher Pope. This is Dating Etiquette. In our last episode, we met Jim, who has a crush on Jane. Jim has already done the hard part of laying groundwork and now thinks the timing is right to ask out Jane in the critical zone of their relationship. Jim is preparing to approach Jane as best prepared as possible. Let's take a look. Jim has laid the groundwork, and he feels he's in the critical zone. The time for him is now. Jim doesn't need pickup lines. He just needs the courage to ask. Jim doesn't need pickup lines. He just needs the courage to ask.
Hey, got it. Hi, Jane.
Hey, Jim.
Would you like to go to Monk's with me to eat food together Friday night?
In one sentence, Jim has given himself the best chance for success. He was clear, gave a time, and knew the location before asking her out. Let's break down why it's so important to have these elements. First, clarity. There is no doubt that Jim is asking Jane out. He went straight up to her and her group of friends and was direct, which shows great finesse on Jim's part. Girls in parties often huddle together like they're in a World War II bomb shelter. Jim's directness parted their conversation like a comb parts a mustache. Next, Jim gave an established time. An established time gives an established answer. Jane will say yes, no, or try to reschedule if she really wants to go on a date. This is much needed clarity for Jim in a time of great internal turmoil. Knowing these things, clarity, time, location, makes this situation best. Not knowing one of these three can make it awkward. If Jim doesn't know time and location before, when he asks Jane,
Would you like to go out with me on a date Friday night?
if Jane answers, yes, where to? He either A, freezes,
Places?
B, spits out some random place he can't afford,
Maybe the White House?
or C, awkwardly bails. Jim did everything right. More than that, he adhered to the Barlow theory. George K. Barlow redefined dating and courtship in the 1870s in a post-Civil War America when he said, create a low standard on your first date. If you take your girl on a first date to Melting Pot and spend $50, you're gonna look like a cheapskate when you go to Outback the next time and only spend $25. On the other side, you don't want to go to Taco Bell because that will also be the last date you ever have with that girl. You want to under-promise and over-deliver. Remember, Jim just asked Jane,
Would you like to go out Friday night to Monk's with me?
even though Jim does everything right, there's a chance of dejection. Let's see how Jane responds.
Yeah, sure, I'd love to.
Jim has reason to be pumped, but be sure not to overdo it. You're going on a date, but you're not dating yet. If at all possible, make sure you have a week to plan and prepare for your date. When Jim sees Jane in school, he's going to be excited knowing he landed a date with his crush. But Jim can still screw this up. Here's a quick tip. Don't peacock. With his newfound confidence, Jim could be tempted to dress exuberantly. Peacocking is dressing up for attention like a peacock uses feathers to attract mates. Let's review some key terms and concepts we learned. Barlow theory. Peacocking. That's all for now. Stay tuned next week when we help Jim plan and prepare for his date. This is Dating Etiquette. I'm Christopher Pope.
And that was Dating Etiquette with Christopher Pope. Tune in next week for another episode.